Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing great today. Today I got my review of the L-21 Wolf, which is a new ship that was just released yesterday. Well, it's been out in the PTU, but it went live yesterday sometime around midday. I don't know, but nevertheless, it's live, and I took it out today. I have it. It was in my hangar. I'm an Imperator subscriber, so I get access to these new ships when they come out, which is pretty cool. And my initial impression of the ship when I was looking at it, now let me start off by saying this: I haven't watched a single review of this ship. I didn't want to sound like a wind chime. I wanted my review to stand on its own merits and what I think about it, and not be swayed either way by anybody else. This is my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. So just initially looking at the ship, when I first saw it come out, and I kind of saw a little bit of kind of like where it was coming from and how they were trying to get to the design that they have initially settled on. I have to say, and even after looking at it when it came out in pre-order, I don't particularly care for the way it looks. It's just my opinion. I don't like the way it looks. It's a very goofy looking design. It's obvious that they're taking visual cues, design cues from Star Wars, the Naboo Starfighter. I hated that ship when it came out all those years ago in the prequel. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, this is what the best you could come up with. I didn't like it then, and I don't like it now. I think the ship would have looked better if they'd actually flipped it up over on its back. If they'd have flipped it over and then put the cockpit where the lower intake is, I think it would have looked. It would have looked cool. But now it's just goofy looking, and it's hard for me to get past the way it looks. After having taken it out and flown it and used it in combat, and it actually performs very well. So it's like having an ugly tool in your tool bag that actually works really well. Do you get rid of it because it's ugly looking, or do you keep it and use it for what its intended purpose is? That's a good question. Me personally, I wouldn't. This is not my cup of tea. But somebody new maybe might like it, but I just don't personally care for it. But that's my, just like the 10,000 foot view when I first saw it, and we'll start the review from here. So we're going to open up SP Viewer, and then we're going to take a look at the ships in there. I'm going to compare it against the Gladius and the Arrow, which are also light fighters. So let's get to it. Thanks for watching, y'all. All right, guys, so here we are on SP Viewer, and I've got the Lone Wolf, the L-21 here, and I've done some modifications to it, and this is the standard loadout. But what I wanted to show you, what's been kind of interesting, I've noticed, is comparing. This is the Wolf, this is the Gladius, and this is the Arrow. These ships are currently, these ships are always in the store. You can always buy these. But what I noticed is this ship is pretty stealthy right out of the box. And so I was thinking, just looking at the numbers, like this is the standard numbers of the ship, the standard emissions. And if you compare that to, this is the Arrow, as it comes out of brand new out of the box. The Arrow is slightly better IR performance stock, but what I got to thinking was, like, this is information as far as like how stealthy it is from the sides and all, and you can see how much more better performing the Wolf is, as far as like its ship, as far as like its structure. If you take that, what I was thinking was, if you take that and then make it stealthy. Now look at these numbers. Look at the IR signature, the infrared signature. I'm not saying you can't get the infrared signature low on the on these other two ships, because you certainly can, but you coupled with the fact that how stealthy the structure is, this ship you could turn this ship into like a sneak in sniper, like a hit and run type of thing. Where you could go run bounty missions and get like really close before they pick you up. That's something you could use it for, and the fact that you don't need power. You can get this. You don't need all those pips. You know what I mean? You don't really need all of it. You just need to power your shields and your and putting these target shields on it really didn't take a significant hit, but what it did do is it dropped the radar signature down pretty well. Okay, guys, so here is just once you can see the size comparison of the Wolf to the Gladius and to the Arrow. And if if I give you the side look of it, you can see how sleek it is. And then if we go back to the top down view, then we look at the Titan versus the Mustang Alpha. And I'll show you the sides of it. You can see it's just a little bit smaller, Now this little guy here is just about as long as the Titan, and this is the Origin 325A and the RSI Aurora MR. You can see now how I don't know how this has less mass than this, but apparently it does. I don't know, but according to the stats, it does. I just don't know how. Maybe it's made out of heavier material or something. I don't know, but there you go. Okay, guys, so I wanted to show you this spreadsheet, just kind of give you a real quick comparison of the Wolf with some of the other ships that are currently in the store here. The Wolf is coming in at $100. Its DPS is standard with the 2 Gatling guns. The size 4 Gatling guns is 21, 22. Now obviously you can get the Arrow and the Gladius up if you put attritions on. You can get it up above that. The Wolf has 4,000 rounds per gun, and these other ones are like 2,000 max. This is the max I've seen as far as like ammunition for the ships that have Gatling guns, like for instance the Titan. But the most DPS, just out of the box, brand new car smell, is this Origin 325i, which is kind of a sleeper that most people overlook. And it does have some interesting feature. I'll talk about it in a second, but just looking at the Wolf and its specs, you'll see that when we get down to pitch, roll, and yaw and boosted, that the Arrow and the Wolf are pretty close. They're very similar in their specs. Very, very close. The Wolf taking a lot of these maneuverability, do best at some of these maneuverability features. I just wanted you to kind of see like where the Gladius would fall out. It's not quite as maneuverable as the Wolf and the Arrow. Interestingly enough, the Wolf is the smallest ship in mass of all of these ships, even compared to the Aurora, which is it's smaller. It has less mass than the Aurora MR, which I thought was interesting. Now the Wolf is 21.5 meters long, but it's only 10.5 meters wide and 4.2 meters tall. It's actually just, it's slimmer than the Arrow, and the Arrow is tiny. But yeah, the Arrow has more mass than the Wolf. It's just crazy. These are the prices you can purchase to ship in game. So just taking a look at what the pricings of the ship and all, the shield bubble on the Wolf, depending upon just stock. Obviously, this is just stock is 3,000. Total hit points is 8,500. But the Avenger Titan has the best stock shields and the most hit points. And it is a little bit bigger of a ship. Pretty decent amount of fuel. And even this amount can get you just about anywhere you need to go in Stanton. You might have to stop and get gas somewhere, but it's still completely doable. One of the cool features about the Titan and specifically this Origin is that it has a capacity to carry 4 SU of cargo. And when you think about it, there's a lot of ships sometimes you take out in space that are actually carrying cargo, and you can actually. I seen one while I was filming this video. One of the ships dropped a couple crates of gold, so you can take, which is a minorly profitable run, and turn it into, you can make some extra credit, some extra coin if you can pick up those crates. And so the Origin and the Avenger Titan are capable. Even the Alpha and Aurora and Mar are capable of doing that. So I just thought I'd mention that. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of give you like visually what the stats, some of the basic stats look like, how the Wolf is stacking up, at least comparatively to some of the other ships that are currently in the store, in the pledge store. All right, guys, welcome back. Now we're going to take a look at the exterior. First, we'll do a walk around to the exterior, and then we'll get into the interior and we'll take a look at that. So let's get to it. All right, starting here on the port side, I'm going to start up here at the nose, and just kind of looking at it, it looks like a boat. Kind of looks like a catamaran. But looking at the exterior, man, like the fit and finish, and it just looks amazing. Well done, CIG. We're just going to go down it's like a little panel. But there's nothing works. Maybe in the future there'll be some exterior panels, but right now there's no exterior component access, like shield generators and stuff like that. There's nothing like that. Just there's a few odds and ends, like this fuel port right here. Maybe one day here in the near future that'll be a thing, but for right now it doesn't really do anything. We've got 4 size 4 missiles right here, and the little winglet between the ship and the engine nacelle. We'll take a look at the engine nacelle here, and the engines. Just kind of take a really quick look at this. Just kind of look at the level of detail that they put into this. They did a really good job. They made it look really believable. It looks like an engine. I mean, it looks like we got bleed air ducts and insulated lines and all kinds of gizmos and stuff. So it looks really good, really well done. And I like the alloy, the way they of these turkey feathers. Man, they look legit. It looks really, really good. Right here is our access to our cockpit. And if you hold down the F button, we can open the ladder, and it opens the little foot places where you're supposed to put your feet when you get into the cockpit. If you hold it down, you can also open pilot canopy. We can also close pilot canopy, and then of course close the ladder. We'll get into the ship in a minute. There's another way to get up there too, and just kind of following around in the aft port side. There's like a winglet looking thing, and there's some little duct, like little valve looking things. So looks like 5th and 10th stage, like bleed air ducts, like it's taking off some bleed air for like our heater and our pressurization and leading edge anti-ice and de-ice, all the things that we would typically use bleed air for. Also for maybe propulsion. Maybe it's what's firing out of these little, for our maneuvering thrusters. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but it looks legit. Right here there is a panel that works, and this is a gun rack where we can store some weapons and such. That's pretty cool. So well done. Close that up and just kind of move our way around. There's some aft thrusters, but man, this is really nice and impressive. This looks like metal. Like, it looks like it's made out of the same heat resistant alloy that the turkey feathers on those engines are made out of. It just looks really well done. Bravo. Really nice. Let's start away over here on the aft ports, starboard side. Same thing. We work our way around and we come to another panel. This is a storage panel where we can loot it or we can open it. And it's got 450k of micro SEU of storage, which is basically almost half an SEU of storage right here, which is pretty cool. And then we can close the panel. Well, we should be able to close it. I guess we can't. I guess that doesn't work. But whatever. We're gonna continue to work our way around. There's the second set of engines, and they look really good. I wish we had something we could get into here to look at, but unfortunately we don't. We have 4 more size 1 missiles for a total of 8. And then again, if we work our way forward, there's nothing else. There's maybe another panel there for future use. And these here on the nose, and that's it. That's the exterior of the ship. At least from the ground. Now what you can do is you can get a run and start and kind of jump up here on the engine nacelle, and we can walk up. You can look at the rest of the ship and climb up here on the nose. Maybe in the future there's going to be some kind of thing that pops up out of there. Who knows? Maybe another set of weapons. Maybe they'll give us the ability to put a second set of maybe energy weapons on there, or something like that. That would be cool, huh? You can open the canopy. And then I haven't had any luck closing it though. I've tried. There's an open, but there's not a close, so I don't know. I wonder if nah, it doesn't do nothing. Regardless, no big deal. We can go back to our handy dandy button down here, and we can close it from down there. So, but that's the exterior of the ship. It looks amazing. The artist, the team that the fit and finish of this is just fantastic as always. Just man, y'all knocked it out of the park. It looks really good. So hats off to the team that made it look the way it does. I can't take anything away from the fit and finish of the exterior of this ship. It looks really good. We will get into we're going to enter the pilot seat, and all you got to do is just select that, and it just automatically pops you right in just like that. Okay, canopy closes, and I'm gonna hit F11, which is going to zero out my head tracker. So just kind of looking down, I'm gonna hit make flight ready, and the first thing you see, you probably noticed, was the Gatling guns extending. And what I want to do is I'm going to switch to an exterior view. And what we'll do is I'm going to zoom in on these Gatling guns, and I'm going to cycle the weapons on and off. How cool is that? Well done, CIG. Well done indeed. That is sick. That is pretty cool. Okay, and just since we have engines running, what we're going to do is we're going to take off. I'm going to briefly lift off. Let me zoom out of here a little bit, and I'm just going to take off. There is a little bit of turbulence, as you would expect. And then if I raise the landing gear, you can see the landing gear go up, and out pops out pops that fin. This, for whatever reason, and I can't really tell you why. I don't know why, but here in Babbage, this ship acts really strange. Its flight characteristics are really odd. So I don't know why, but it just does. It's something to do with the, I don't know. If you don't operate out of Babbage and you have this ship, come to Babbage, and the ship is really squirrely. But we're going to move on. We're going to do a review of the interior. So just looking straight down, there's the clock that everybody saw, and then well, I guess we'll work our way from the port side to the left, to the right, to the starboard. So over here on the port side, just kind of hovering over, we do have an open exterior. If I can find it again. There we go. Open exterior, close exterior. There's that button. You can exit right there and then close exterior. For whatever reason, that didn't seem to work a minute ago. Exit, and then kind of working our way around. We have what? Engines on, engines off. Engines on, engines off. And then one more. I think there is power off. Okay. There's something maybe that was supposed to be here and it's not here now. I would almost suspect that it probably has something to do with this panel up here that's not installed. Like maybe there was supposed to be another set of weapons up here and it just didn't. They just left them off. That would be my guess. There's nothing else. Oh, there is a lights button. Lights on. Lights off. So I guess it's turning on these buttons here. Well, that's pretty cool. Very cool. I like that. Well done. Now moving on to our pips. So right now we are in QT nav mode. We're gonna switch over to SCM mode. That's why that was so crazy responsive a minute ago. That's why it was so nutso. Just kind of looking at it here. There's that surfboard fin. It's just not a fan of that. Okay. So we're back on the deck. So I wanted to continue on looking at the pips. So you only need one really, and you can leave the rest of these powered. But what I want to take a look at is, this is kind of neat what you can do. You can come in here and you can set this up where, so if you have a let's say if you have a HOTAS or a joystick that has a 2-stage trigger, meaning like it has 2 separate pulls, you can set this up where like you can fire like one, like the first pull is one gun, and if you double pull, now you can bring both of them online. What that means is that can keep you in a fight longer. And, you see what I'm saying? You got 4,200 rounds, so now you could theoretically, if you wanted to, save ammo and fight maybe a little bit longer. Now you're not going to do as much damage, but there you go. If it's a light target, maybe you don't want to use both guns. I don't know. It's just something you can do. Or you can just pull both triggers at the same time. It's just something you can do. I ran into a situation where you'll see in this video where one of my guns got damaged and I only had one, and I couldn't fire the other one. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. That's something that you can do by playing around with your weapon settings. Basic stuff. There's not really much more to it than that. This seems to be a little bit different. I like this. We have a that's pretty slick. I like that. I think that's new.
Safe arrival achieved.
That's the HUD I like. I like this new advanced HUD. I personally like it. So, but y'all, that is the interior. So view wise, it's not bad. If I lean out, I can look up. You know, it's not bad. I can lean back and look way over my shoulder. I am a little bit obstructed right there, but it's not horrible. I'm sitting up in my chair now, and this little bit here over the nose is not horrible, but it's not great either. I wish I couldn't see all that. And typically what they do, at least on modern aircraft, if there's anything that's going to be potentially creating a reflection in the pilot's eyes, usually this gets blacked out. Normally this would be all black, all of that right there. So it would be creating a reflection back to the pilot's eyes. I just thought I'd bring that to your attention, CIG. If the ship was reversed, if it was flipped over like I think it should be, you would have a situation where you would have the nose of an F-18. If you go look at the older model, like A model F-18s, and the way they look like this thing here flipped over upside down, and then you would have really good vision. Maybe they're gonna make a 2-seater version of this here in the future, and maybe that little spot up there will be another seat, or another, I don't know, maybe there's gonna be a version 2 of this. Who knows? I'm just speculating. This little door is a suspect to me. Like there should be something popping up out of there, like maybe another set of guns. I don't know. That's it. That is, we'll kill the power. Hit the trusty Y button, and we'll egress out of the wolf, man. And all in all, it reminds me of like I said, it reminds me of the Naboo fighter. It definitely takes cues from that. It sort of reminds me of the the old F-104 Starfighter, USA fighter that, if you go take a look at that, and it kind of has a World War II tail dragger look about it. You know, like the old prop planes with it, where it drags the tail. Like I said earlier, I can't take away nothing from the artistry of this. It's beautiful. It looks amazing. I just don't like the design of it. I think you missed an opportunity. If it was upside down and redesigned a little bit, this thing would be pretty cool. But nevertheless, as far as what it flies well. At least once you get into space, it acts really strange here in New Babbage. For some reason, what you'll see here in a little bit when I take it out and fly it. When you try to strafe in this, if you strafe left or right, it'll yaw the nose over in the direction that you're moving. So the nose will yaw over with it. It's really weird, and it only does it here. And I think it has something to do with that surfboard fin that pops out at the bottom. But either way, that's the walk around and then exterior internal review of the L-21 Wolf. Next thing we're gonna do a flight review, and then we'll take it out and we'll dogfight it. I'll give you my final thoughts at the end, and that'll be it. So let's go fly this thing, y'all. I don't know, guys. What do you think? I really don't care for it. I don't care for the way it looks. To me, I'll tell you what we'll do. If I can do it. I don't know if I can do it here. Oh. I think that should have been the top. I think they did it. I think it's upside down. I think I just don't like the way it looks. I just don't. I think it looks cooler from the bottom. I think it's upside down. Instead of going side to side, trying to focus on here, so I don't notice it doing that. There we go.
Shit, that was one of them.
Contact confirmed. Target lock. Target lock.
It's fast. I shot his wing off.
Asshole.
Target destroyed.
And I like that they're giving me the business over the comms. That's great. I love it. That is so good. Bravo, CIG. All right, here's our guy right here. What are we dealing with?
Contact confirmed.
There we go. Let's see what we got here.
Target locked.
Got something for you.
Shields under attack.
All right, so that dude hit me pretty good. I smashed him too. Oh, he knocked off one of my guns. All right, that's cool. Fight him with the... Oh, this is a...
Get them off us!
Target destroyed.
This is a hawk. This ship here is, I've never.
Contact confirmed. Target destroyed. Contact confirmed.
Where's my target at? There he is.
Have fun with that.
Shields under attack.
Where is my guy? Here he is.
Target destroyed.
So as you can see, the ship held its own pretty well in a dogfight. I was able to take out five NPCs relatively easy. I did take a couple of hits from their missiles, but all in all, it did pretty good. I'm not the greatest at the dogfight, and as you can see, I've got still much to learn. But all in all, in a fight, it does pretty good, and that's exactly what it was designed to do. The size 4 Gatling guns do very well. It comes with double the amount of ammo that most Gatling guns have at 4,200 rounds a gun. That's a substantial. That's what 8,400 rounds of ammo. So the ship flies is very nimble in flight. It handles very well, and it's fun to fly. I ain't gonna lie. I did enjoy taking it out. I don't like the way it looks. I just don't like the way it looks. I think I keep saying it, but I think the ship needs to be flipped upside down. There was a certain theme that they were trying to attain, it seemed to me along the Star Wars line, like I said, the Naboo fighter and the mission accomplished, I suppose. It kind of looks like a speedboat. It looks like a couple things, but I just don't get the fin on the bottom. I wish they would, if they get rid of anything, get rid of that. It doesn't really serve any useful purpose other than to run into stuff. But as far as like the overall quality of the artwork and the functionality of it all, it's really, really, really nice. They did a really good job to the art people and the people that did all the stuff to that, especially the people who figured out how to make them guns. retract and be, you know, come back up, man. That's really, really cool. So I was really impressed with that. It's a very tiny ship, as far as the mass is concerned. So I think if you take this ship and you set it up as a stealth ship, it's already very stealthy just by the structure. But if you go and you set this thing up as a stealth ship, like I showed in at the beginning of the video, I think this thing would be just a beast, because you would not see it coming until it was right up on top of you. And if I owned this ship, that's exactly how I would set it up. I would go in and make it really super, even more stealthy, and use its advantage. That's the advantage that it has. It's very fast, it's very small, and it has the ability to you can almost make it darn near invisible, until, like I said, and that's how I would probably use it. Tell me what you think in the comments, man. Am I off? Like I said at the very beginning, I have not watched a single review of this ship, not one person. I didn't want to be swayed by anybody else's input. I've enjoyed reviewing it. I enjoyed flying it. I just don't enjoy the way it looks. I love all the characteristics that it has. It's just not for me. Who's the ship for? It's for people that love flying fighters. That's what it's for. If you're a fighter guy, then you're probably going to want to get this and take it out and go have some fun, because you will be having fun in it. You'll just be, I think you'll be sneaking up on people and murdering them fairly easily. If you dump the missiles and unload that Gatling gun, you're just going to wreck people's day. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If it wasn't complete garbage, please consider giving me a thumbs up, leaving a comment. That would be awesome. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I know I'm supposed to say that to help the channel grow, that kind of thing. So if you have anything you'd like to, if I missed or if I said anything in there, please let me know, and we'll make it right, and we'll square it up and help me get better. That's all I can do. So anyway, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Y'all take care. Y'all have a great day, and y'all be safe out there in the verse and in real life. And we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.